Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. It is a brand new season. It is season 13. Unlucky for some, hopefully it won't be for us. Although, given the luck we've had recently, hopefully, the pendulum will swingeth back in our favour this year. But that remains to be seen. Now, I thought we'd start today on the actual draw for the Champions League as our first game sets off, because that way I don't have to tell you that much about it. As you can see, we are in a group with PSG, Juventus, as always, and CSKA Moscow. So I guess there's and we very nearly were pot 2. There was 2 teams above us in the other pot, basically, that we could have snuck into. So that's pretty damn close. We're very, very close to becoming a pot 2 team. And as you can also see down here, Legia did get into the group stages, which is really, really awesome. They had a bit of an easy ride in some ways. They got Rangers in their first qualifying round, which I thought was probably going to knock them out, but they actually beat them on away goals after a 2-1 defeat and a 1-0 win. And then they got Club Brugge in the final knockout and actually were pretty comfortable 3-1 winners in the tie. They got a draw away from home and then a 2-0 victory at home. So Legia are coming up trumps. Not that they can be said for the other Polish sides, unfortunately, as Lechia managed to get through the first qualifying round, which was fine. They beat the team like 7-1 or something, but then they got knocked out by Bohemians, I think it was, which was very disappointing. And then Zag got thumped by Hoffenheim 7-0, which is not a huge surprise. So it's just Lech in the Europa League again this year. But at least Legia got to the groups. But I don't see them doing much in that group with Arsenal and Barca in it. PSV, see how they do, but I think they'll probably come bottom and probably get no points. But it's all on us, and I think it's going to be difficult. I still think we've got a chance to get out, though, because we're getting stronger and stronger, and I think this has been a damn good summer. I've spent in total £50 million spent, and it hasn't all been recouped from player sales either. We have spent over that, but we still somehow have more money than when we started due to some other off-the-field factors, which we'll talk about in a minute. Somehow, Diaz of Legia won Player of the Season, despite coming 8th in the average rating, so that's good. Schalke, as you can see, actually won the Champions League. They beat Real Madrid in the final, so the team that beat us did get all the way to the final before losing to Schalke, so well done, Schalke. That's amazing. Orozco was in the Champions League Dream Team, though, which was fantastic, and he won goal of the tournament with his 6 goals in the Champions League. What a year. Carroll also got his first call-up for the Polish national team and won 2 caps over the summer, which is amazing, and I think it's just because they obviously needed a player for that role, because I don't think he's as good as some of the others, but he's got 2 caps for Poland now, and he's played well. And lastly, Monaco bid for Freitas, which happens a lot, but it was the thing that was next to it that amazed me. It said, my client isn't interested at all in speaking to Monaco, which was amazing, because it's Monaco, and Freitas wasn't even interested in entering talks with them. That's how much this guy loves the club. What a legend. Right, so, transfers. We're going to start with the outs, because there's been a few, and then we'll go into the £50 million worth of ins, and also how I accumulated some extra cash over the summer as well. So I said it was likely to happen that Kevin would leave. I was hoping that some Polish sides would come in with a bid, but unfortunately it was not to be. And eventually Crystal Palace came in, and we sold him for £7.75 million to Crystal Palace. And I felt like that was a reasonable deal, given how much we paid for him in the first place. And yeah, I think he was going to start kicking up a fuss. Then again, he was never made that much of a complaint. But as you can see, 98 appearances in the league Kevin made for us, which is a hell of a lot. And to get £8 million with a 50% next sale fee clause, always very nice. But as for how we got some extra money, Edwin Palacios moved from, who was it? Bremen to Hoffenheim for like £12 million. And as a result, we got £6 million from the deal. £5 million up front and another £1 million we're going to get in a year, which is amazing. And that's why I do those clauses. And even more reason to do those clauses is, do you guys remember Alain Prudhomme? A guy I sold to Bayern for £5 million like 7 years ago. We had a 50% in the sale fee clause in there, and not once had they ever offered to buy it from me. This summer, they did, for £13 million. I went and had a look, and he wasn't progressing that well there. He'd been on loan at Hanover the previous year, so I bit their bloody hand off. They gave me 13 million quid for that guy. 18 million in total for a guy who I don't think is ever going to play for them. So that was huge money for us, and that is how I've been able to end up with so much money. Next up, of course, is my man Viddarsen, who's finally left to go to Fulham. That was always going to happen. 2.5 mil at the end of his loan deal. Off he goes. Then, a sad, sad time. Victor Hugo has left the club to go to Newcastle. 131 appearances he made for us and scored 69, the sex number, goals. But the deal was too good to turn down. Some other stuff had happened here that made me feel like it was the best deal, and he wanted to leave. So it was kind of a perfect storm. £6.25 million, though, I still think is an excellent deal. And he gets a big payday, and he gets to play in the Premier League. And I can't really fault him on that one. Got a 50% of next sale fee clause in there as well. £6.25 million. Good deal for us, I'd say, though, in the long run. And I hope he does get some caps for Poland. It would be nice. Next up was a deal I was surprised that the opportunity came along to actually do. Celta Vigo came in for Vlad Jovanovic. And given the way he played last year, I still thought he was good, but I didn't think he was going to get as many chances as he would have needed to go. And when this deal came through, I felt this was the right option again. It wasn't the case, and he was really pushing for the deal. Once they started bidding, don't know why players always want to go to Celta Vigo. Franceschi, he hasn't actually gone, but Celta Vigo came bidding for Franceschi, and he was really kicking up a fuss about going there, and I don't understand why. But there you go. Jovanovic was, and eventually we did end up giving into the deal. £9.75 million though, so I felt like that was a reasonable chunk of change to bring in for the deal. He does have 2 caps for Serbia. He only didn't really play that much in the time he was here. He came off like amazing start, but £10 million, we've got a huge amount of money from the deal, plus 50% next selfie. Campagnaro did finally leave. He went to West Ham for £5 million in the end. I did try to offer him a new deal, but he wanted £36,000 a week, plus other clauses, and all kinds of other stuff, and I just didn't think it was worth it for us, for a player who's already 27, to be given them massive deals at that point when they weren't going to get any better, and I felt like I could do more down the line. So in the end, £5 million to West Ham with a 50% in next selfie. What I was much happier to get off the bill though is Mark Stamler, who has also gone to Celta Vigo. They bloody love coming after our players. It had to be done. I tried to loan him out again, but the clubs weren't offering as much money for our players for loans this year. I don't know why. The most I've got for any of them was 100 grand a month, which is still a lot, but I was offering him out for 300 grand a month last year to Sevilla. But there you go. He's gone for £3.1 million. It gets him off of our wage bill, which is the main thing, because he was on a huge amount of money here, and he was rubbish when he played for us, I've got to be honest. So to get him off the bill and off the wages and give us some money is always nice. Jorge Gomez has gone to Valencia for 100k. A month, that is, on loan. Bunyamin Eichelkamp has gone off to Parma on loan, 100k a month again. Milos Nikolic, who is amazingly still here, has gone to Groningen on loan, again, for 100k a month. Kokada has gone to Vitesse for 60k a month on loan. I did try to move on Militic, but no one was interested in actually buying him off of us, unfortunately, so he's gone to Wolves on loan for the season for 100k a month. And lastly, Ibon Iriondo has moved to Osasuna for £300,000, a proper deal this time, though, just because he wasn't ever going to play for us. Right. Ins. I'm going to do this one this time in chronological order of me actually signing them up, or them joining rather, because I feel like this will tell a story more about the summer than me just showing you in order of like importance. So yeah, here's an idea then. So I was kind of working off a list that I made during the analysis video of what I wanted, and every time I signed one of the sort of ideas I wanted, I would tick them off the list basically. This guy wasn't on the list, nor was his position, but when the opportunity came to sign him, I thought, you know what, why not? It's Jez Norris, and this was the reason I was happy to get rid of Victor Hugo, because I figured Jez Norris, a young Englishman who we got from Norwich City for £2 million, I feel like we overpaid for this deal. Again, the potential, my scouts estimated how good he was, and the consistency issues. So yeah, not a brilliant one, this one, particularly for £2 million, but he does come in and gives us a little bit more enforcement on that left-hand side. Not bad ability, but not great. So he's one of the ones that joined us very early on at the moment the transfer window opened. Along with him, though, came a striker, John Martinez. He joined for £6.25 million from Athletic Bilbao. That's right, I signed a striker. In fact, I signed several strikers. He was the first of many. He was more like one for the future type of striker, because again, my scouts thought 5-star potential. When he actually joined, it wasn't quite as good as that, but still, 16 years old, 6.25 million from Bilbao is quite a lot of money, but that's because of release clauses and that. But I still think he's solid. He's 6 foot tall, he's consistent, he's got decent finishing, good first touch, good heading, reasonable things that I like. His dribbling is a little bit poor, and he's got that potential susceptibility to injuries, but I still think he's reasonable. The money was quite a lot, but I feel like he could definitely do a job for other Polish teams at some point as well. Because the guy I really wanted was this guy. This is Federico Grandi. He is probably going to be the guy battling it out with Zvigawa this season for our number 1 striker slot. 23-year-old Italian. We signed him from Inter for £8 million. Now, that might seem like a lot, but he was worth way more than that. He was transfer listed because he wanted game time, and I just swooped in there because he can play complete forward. I've used the complete forward role for the first few league games, and I'm still not sure where to go with it, so I've moved it back for now. Yeah, really not entirely sure about that one just yet. But the point is, 16 finishing, 16 first touch, 13 dribbling. He's 6'6", 16 heading. He's not exactly slow. He's not super fast, but he's a big, strong lad. Moves into channels, likes to round keeper, first time shots. There's a lot of things I like about this guy, and I feel like he could actually give us a run this year as a really solid striker. Great technique, okay passing vision, good work rate, he's fairly determined, he's very determined, great off the ball. There's a lot of things to like about Federico Grandi, and he's called Grandi. You can't go wrong with that. So £8 million he's coming for. We have broken our transfer record this summer. It wasn't with him though. It was for a player that I think we might have overpaid for, in all honesty. So those guys all came in on the opening day of the transfer window. Next up was Sandor Miske, who is a Hungarian, and annoyingly he already got a cap. He was on oh no, he will go up to quite large wages once he turns of age, basically. But yeah, centre-back. I wanted to find some young centre-backs. He is one of them. 5-star potential, looks good to me, and he was very, very cheap. 875 grand in total was the deal. Only 8 heading, which is a bit not as great. Jumping reach is 11, which is all right. 6'4" though. Decent marking and very, very good tackling. He's very brave. I think there's a lot to like about this guy. The fact that he's already got a hungry cap at the age of 16 suggests that this guy's got a really bright future, and I think he could be an amazing player. Good determination, good hunger. Then a week later came the largest transfer outlay ever. This guy is coming from, who was it? It was Cagliari for £13 million. Andrea Falvella, because I really was determined to go after some centre-backs. Now, he's 6 foot tall, so he's not the super tallest, and his heading isn't amazing, but he does have decent jumping reach. Good marking, good tackling, solid physicals. He's not slow either. Great strength, very, very strong. Good stamina, great bravery, positioning, work rate, determination. Excellent mental stats for the 23-year-old. No caps for Italy yet. £13 million is a lot, and I do think we've overpaid, but I think it's because he came from the Italian league and he was highly rated by a lot of other players. But I still think he's definitely going to strengthen that back line, particularly with Vinjevic and Panda's contracts being up next summer, and I don't know whether I can afford to extend them because they want like 40 grand a week. So we might have to... Panda I probably will though, but Andrea Falvella has come in to try and give us a bit more strength there. So I think he's definitely going to help, although the heading is a concern. Next up, a few days later, is a slightly cheaper signing, Momir Serovic. Yes, we're back to the Serbs again, back to Crvena Zvezda to get in there. I wanted to find a young backup centre midfielder this time, because that's where we were a bit lacking in the backups in there. The young potentials coming through. £1 million from Crvena Zvezda, decent passing, decent vision, 17 years old. I think there's a lot to like about this lad. 5'10", rotation, balanced personality. I think he's going to be solid in that role. Decent potential, in theory, and yeah, I'm glad with that signing. For £1 million. And on that very same day, we actually signed another player for that exact same role. He did have the 5-star potential, but since he's joined us, it's not quite as good as we thought. It's Jose Francisco, who's coming from Real Sociedad. So, well, Real Sociedad B, I suppose, technically, after playing for their C team, I think, last season. But for £550,000, he obviously wanted to leave. We've come in, swooped in, and picked him up as well to give us even more backup in those positions, and I'm pretty pleased with that, to be honest. Next up is a loan signing. It's Ibrahim Poirier, a guy I think I mentioned last year that I nearly got on loan. He went to Lazio last season. I swooped in, grabbed another centre-back on loan this year, so we've got him as well. Decent heading, decent passing as well, solid marking, great tackling, 6'2", decent physicals. He's a wonder kid on loan from Monaco for the year. Not playing, he's barely paying any of his, well, we're paying his wages, but it's not a lot of wages, so I think that's a decent piece of business again to really strengthen the defensive line. Also coming back is Vadim Ivanov. He was listed for transfer for £52 million. No way I was paying that, but I was more than happy to pay his wages for another season just to bring him in as a backup. But honestly, I've kept Alain Olivier around this season and he's been doing really well this year. So we've got 3 excellent options in that right back spot now, and the left back, you already know that's great. Next up is another striker. It's Mohamed Kone, an Italian, I think he's Ivorian Italian, but he is of Italian nationality currently. Driven personality, he's a striker. He's coming from Parma for not a lot of, actually, £2.6 million from Parma. Determination of 20, always nice. 6'6" striker again. There's a lot of them about, it would seem. He's only got 10 finishing. A long way to improve, but he is only 16 years old. So again, if nothing else, he could be great for other Polish teams. And then it came to the final day of the window, and I was desperately trying to sign a right winger. Now, there was a guy I was looking at from Brazil called Jardel. And there was actually 2 guys. I didn't sign either of them. Jardel was £22 million release clause. He was decent and he could play on both wings. My issue was, I thought that 22 million was a bit too much based on the actual attributes he had. And he was already 23 and he would have wanted like 90 grand a week. And it was a lot of money. And we had the money. I've still got £50 million that we could have spent. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend it if I didn't need to. And I got to the final day of the window and I was really unsure. And then I thought, we'll try and get this guy in on loan just to sort of plug that gap a little bit. So this is Dennis Goldan, who's on loan from Paris Saint-Germain this season. Good crossing, good dribbling, 10 finishing, which is fine. He's not super tall though, but he is incredibly fast and agile, so he'll definitely do a job there. So we managed to get him in just as the window was shutting. There was also another guy I was looking at from Den Haag, whose name, I shit you not, was Jelly Clock. Jelly Clock! It's the best name ever. Unfortunately, they wanted 25 million for him, and again, I just didn't think it was worth it, because then, later in the window, literally with seconds to spare, a guy came through a scout report and I was able to get the deal done, and this is him. This is Christian Henningsen, who's come in from FC Copenhagen. We've got ourselves a Dane. I love a good Dane. He's only played 4 times for them. He's cost us just under £10 million because that was his release clause. 20 years old, but I love this guy. 16 crossing, 16 dribbling, 12 finishing, great first touch. He's 5'10" with great heading, great passing, great technique, work rate. Everything is so good. His lowest stat is his penalty taking at 7. And his positioning actually is at 6. Everything, I absolutely adore this guy. I know he's not got 5-star potential, but this to me was an absolute steal for £10 million. And I think he is brilliant this year. And he is better than that Jardel guy, and younger, and cost less than half the amount and would have been way less in wages too. I love Christian Henningsen and I'm so glad he's joined us too. So someone said they also wanted to see this many when we were done. So that's basically how it is. 44 million out, 36.5 million in. As you can see, there's a few other outs there as well. The future transfers is, yeah, him basically. So that is our summer business. Very quick rundown. So I did start with a complete forward on. Federico Grande scored here and a pair of goals for Brian Gorosito. Always nice. Then it was Swans got a 2-1 victory, a Federico Grande penalty and a Triverio, not Triviero. Triverio, late winner for us, giving us the win over Swans. So you can see lots of chances created, lots of shots, but we're just not scoring as many goals at the moment. And similar style that played out against Gornik, as again, Triverio giving us the winner in this one. Blaise Lisek as well was excellent though. Finally started to look a bit better away at Cracovia, but they did score a goal, but we got goals from Gorosito, Lisek, Triverio, and of course Saavedra over the course of a 15-minute spell to grab 4 goals was very nice. But then a 1-1 draw at home to Arca in a game where we had so many clear opportunities, and it was only Blaise Lisek's penalty that actually gave us the lead. The equaliser after Hitalo gave them the lead. Annoying. And then it was a similar story away at Corona. Again, we were all right in this one. Gorosito grabbed a goal, but they grabbed an equaliser. I then did move back to a deep line forward, I think, at this point, and we beat Lechia 3-1, which was nice. Grande with a goal, Orozco with a goal, Lisek with a goal, but he then missed a penalty, unfortunately. Zviggy was injured for a lot of the first start of the season, which is why you haven't seen him. And then a slightly rested side against Pogon gave us a 2-0 victory. Goals from Jacobo Garcia from this penalty spot. And of course, Federico Grandi with another one here. Zviggy will be starting today. As you can see, Donny Waterberg's got some appearances too. Which leaves the league looking like this. We're actually joint top with Rakov, who have had an excellent start this season, which is always very nice. Poznan up there with Lechia. Legia, where are Legia? Sort of mid-table. GKS doing their usual nonsense. So yeah, Lisek up there too, and Alain Olivier as well. Really good season so far from him. Right, let's get into CSKA Moscow today. This is going to be difficult. Okay, so Waterberg I didn't register because we needed a gap, and I can always obviously play Lisek for these games. So Grandi played the last game, which means Zviggy will come back in for today. Gorosito will come in instead of Triverio. Gorosito, my assistant keeps trying to put him in the middle for some reason. Still haven't decided on Saavedra or Henningsen just yet. I'm going to have to wait until everyone's fit and sort that out. Olivier will have to play. Freitas and Panda. So, Zviggy, Lisek, Gorosito, Saavedra, Orozco, Silva, Albarracin, Freitas, Panda, Olivier, and of course Franceschi. Now, when I moved this back, I'm pretty certain I didn't touch any of this stuff. Shoot less often, dribble more. No, I think I'm all right. I don't think it's changed it. Because the complete forward, it just didn't seem to work for us, and I don't really know why. We might try it again. So on the bench, Idchak, Falvela, Carroll, Triverio, Poirier, Garcia, Grande. Yeah, Grande. Nice. I definitely think we've strengthened. Honestly, I'm not sure what to make of that tactic. Hopefully, we can just keep the ball and use the wide areas wisely today with the likes of Lisek and, of course, my man Saavedra over on the other side of the pitch. And we've already won a free kick. Oh, lovely pull back for Gorosito. Go on, find a good cross. He does! Saavedra at the back post, and we lead after 15 minutes. Mateus Saavedra with the goal. Gorosito with the assist, and we've got a nice early lead over CSKA Moscow, which is really quite important. Now we can just kind of chill. This is a lovely ball, by the way, from Olivier, just to whip this straight out there. Saves us a lot of time. Gorosito, one touch to set himself. Another one, whips it to the back post, and there's Saavedra. Lovely finish from him. Nice to see him grab another goal. Still not sure on him or Henningsen, though. Probably Henningsen in the long run. Might just turn it down to positive. I probably should have started on positive, really, but there we go. Lisek's ball. Zvigawa's header, and it's flicked into the back of the net by Alberto Freitas. And yeah, that's definitely going to count. Zviggy with the assist. And there we go. 2-0 up is always very nice. And Freitas, the captain, the man, the myth, the legend, grabs his first goal of the season. I can easily see him getting a testimonial. Oh, what about that? That's an incredible header from Alberto. My man. Oh, no, now Lisek's injured. Are you kidding me? I feel like this could be the year where everything just... Oh, I don't believe it. Apologies if you missed the end of what I was saying there. The camera cut out because I left it recording for too long. Yeah, good first half on the score sheet. Bad side for Saavedra and Lisek both being out injured. Have we got any idea what the injury could be? Potential lower leg injury. Oh, no, that could be a broken leg. Gorosito's ball. Grande, and Freitas will go to collect. And it's 3-1 to Legia Warszawa. What about that? Orozco. Oh, Gorosito. Albarracin with the throw. Headed away. Gorosito! Bottom corner, 3-0. Nice. And it's 3-2 against Eindhoven. I would really, really love Legia to go and get a victory there. That says to me that they might actually have a chance of getting third in that group, which is fantastic. Gorosito's 5th goal of the year already. Alexa, play Gorosito. First time, bottom corner. Lovely old job, 3-0. Can he dig one out himself? Goes back for Gorosito. Oh, good ball in Zviggy at the back post there. And Gorosito has been phenomenal today. Zviggy's first goal of the season, getting one from the left-hand side. I have a sneaky suspicion that Zviggy might end up playing on the left for some of these Champions League matches due to the fact that Lisek, I sense, is going to be missing for a while. Lovely ball in from Gorosito. Zviggy's there. It's 4-0, and he's grabbed himself another goal. He might have to be our left winger in the Champions League. Few seconds to go here. Olivier, Idchak, Silva to wrap things up. And there we go. A 4-0 victory at home. Always very nice. And yes, Legia did beat PSV Eindhoven 3-2 at home. Really, really nice to see the Polish boys representing. 4-0 victory for us, but my main concern is the injuries. Let's go. Pulled calf muscle. 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, it's not the end of the world. He's probably going to miss 1 Champions League game, maybe 2 at the very most. Phew. What about Saavedra? 2 to 3 days. Okay. Phew. Panic over. I think he'll probably miss 1 game. We can play Zviggy for 1 match there. I wish it was this game, to be honest, but there you go. All is well in the world. So, next episode, of course, is going to be Juve away, PSG at home. We probably need to go and try and get something away against Juventus and hope that we can beat PSG at home. I think we've got what it takes, but you never know. A 4-0 victory there is nice to see, though. So, if you've enjoyed it and you're looking forward to the new season, I really hope you are. Drop a like on the video. That'd be spectacular. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first video you've seen, subscribe. That'd be fun as well. And I'll join you guys in the next episode for some more Champions League goodies. See you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.